This came out today as well. Zuckerberg's Meta sued by 42 states for harming young people with addictive Facebook, Instagram features. So this whole gender ideology-driven agenda, especially on children, it's been done at the big tech level too. Knowing how to manipulate, socially engineer. That's the reason it's a disgrace that the top of the nursing and medical profession have gone along with it. They know better. At least the ones at the top. The people that are working at the bedside are so used to, many of them, so used to just, oh no, this is the science, we know this evidence is true. They don't have any evidence on what happens to these kids later, to the brain, once they're put on puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones. So that's how manipulative this whole, that's how infected everything is. I said this once before, but it's rather important. Mental health always seems to be, or tries to be at the top, the Psychiatric Association, or psychology associations, all of them. Tries to be, or tries to put articles out about, this is going to be a, like they want to say, put out articles about how it's a crisis if we don't do gender. We have a higher suicide rate if kids aren't allowed to change their genders. That's not true, though. But what they'd never really put out is how we, as a psychiatric profession at the top, should have put out, like, right in 2020. I mean, if I was able to figure it out, that there would be more deaths because of experts, because of lockdowns, because of taking people's jobs away from them, deeming people essential or non-essential, forcing people to wear masks all day where they couldn't breathe, affecting children development that needed to see lips, that needed to see not just lips but facial expressions, affecting the fear-mongering that went on day in and day out for months and years even, of the COVID and this and everything else dropped away and everything was in your face COVID. How you couldn't see your loved ones. I mean, I said right after 2 months of the lockdowns, I had a woman come in into them. I was working at Northwestern at the time. She's somebody I would never see, never. Had a totally full life, was in her 60s. And she wasn't suicidal, but she said, I don't know what to do. I'm so depressed. We can't travel, we can't do this, this is what it does to people. So nobody to this day, even in mental health, will stop to think about, like, we have a suicide checklist we have to go through at Columbia, suicide questions. We should have a list of questions about, did you notice if your depression was worse during lockdowns? Did you have any suicidal tendencies then? I mean, if they have a history of it, fine. Was it worse then? They don't want to touch that. You know why? Because then it implicates the medical profession, because they know better. Again, how could I know that? It's a common sense thing. They learned from history back at the Spanish flu, that putting everybody in masks made things worse. It led to more bacterial pneumonia because you're breathing in all this crap you're putting on the mask. Yet that's what they did. So why'd they do it? And yet we've always just separated the elderly, but never to the point where they can't see their family. These people in nursing homes were imprisoned in their rooms for close to 2 years, literally. What do you think that did to them? How is it that we have a mental health profession at the top that didn't have enough empathy to think about those things? No, because they were too busy working with big tech, right? Or being aligned with that agenda. because it's all about money. So when everything is all about money and pharma getting money, and the people that head up our associations of medicine and nursing and the psychiatric association getting money, so they serve at the feet of their pharmaceutical billionaires, then what will get lost is truly empathy and doing the right thing. There should have been some sort of plan of how to deal with the people that normally would never be seen, that had full lives. But you know how many times people come in and they'll be depressed and they don't know why? They're not like the lady I saw that was in her 60s, she knew it was because of the lockdowns and the banning wanting you to travel anywhere and all this. But there's many people that come in and they become so stressed. They don't know what's causing it. And because our whole society just believes experts on TV, nobody stopped to think, no, they took quality of life away. How could the scientific community forget about quality of life? If you forget about quality of life, then you're operating from a place that you don't have empathy. But everybody just went along. And I'm not blaming everybody that just went along, because in all honesty, everybody, has been socially engineered. But at this point, or to the point where you're pushing cross-sex hormones on children, you're a nursing organization that's actually putting videos up that supports children changing their genders, then you're only operating on money. Which means you don't have any empathy, because how could you not care about so many children? How could you not care about women and children being trafficked when we have open borders? How could you support open borders? How could all of you experts that went to school for so long and are so higher educated fail on so many fronts? Because you didn't just fail when it came to COVID and how to handle that, and all went along with each other on it. But you failed when it came to open borders. You supported that, again, because you want universal health care. You're trying to break the system of medicine so you can force the government to come in. But how could the psychiatric profession completely be so mindless as to not speak up and say, no, taking quality of life away, we will end up with more deaths? And here's the thing. Walgreens now, somebody had sent me this yesterday, Nat, sent me this yesterday. If your kid is 13 or older, you're not allowed as a parent to know their drug profile. Yeah. You can look to all of the people that went along with all the same agenda, because they all supported the same thing. They supported silencing people. CDC, Health and Human Services, Public Health, Zuckerberg, all the social media. American Medical Association serving for their pharma people, because I'm sure they're getting kickbacks for it, and I'm sure there's a money trail there. I've shown it before with at least American Medical Association. And the reason those people in Washington got to go, most of them, is because they've been serving the American Medical and Nursing Associations and their pharma companies. That needs to end. That needs to end, because all of these people colluded, and they all went along with political, sick ideology-driven science that is not based on evidence, but is rooted in something twisted, which shows none of them, all that higher education, and none of them have any empathy. Nobody that went along with that for this long, all of these things that they shouldn't have, so many different levels of what they went along with. That's not people you want in healthcare. That's certainly not people you want leading it, because they don't know what empathy is.